Good morning. Welcome back to the Broadcasting Government Network. I'm Jeff Snyder. This is BRN AM for Tuesday, November 23rd, 2021. And our top story today, artificial intelligence. Everyone wants it, but not everyone is ready. Well, joining me now to discuss this and a lot more, Daniela Kovic is the founder and chief sales officer for Q4. Daniela, great to see you. Thanks so much for joining us on the program this morning.
Thanks so much, Jeff. You as well. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. And you know, artificial intelligence, it means so many different things to a lot of people. You might think of the Starship Enterprise or the Terminator, maybe some doom and gloom, and or you think about what Amazon is doing. But how do you and the folks at Q4 define AI, artificial intelligence?
Yeah, I often get this question, and I feel like those 80s and 90s movies scare the crap out of people, and they're thinking the robots are going to take over the world, but that's not the case. Here at Q4, the way we define it, and I'd like to compare it to a human brain, essentially what it is, it's a big infrastructure that is made and then trained to make decisions based on the information that's provided. So what we do in Q4 is our kind of direction of the company is having the ability to make predictive analysis on the next play of a sporting event or what an athlete is going to do. So what we do is we take information from historical events from that specific athlete, that team, along with a bunch of other items such as travel, the location that they're in, and who they're playing against, and if there are any factors such as weather or otherwise. And then from that, as we put that information, our model takes this information, 250,000 layers worth, and then makes a decision on what's the most probable. It can make 100,000 decisions and then weigh it out and say, okay, well, based on all this information input, this is the most probable outcome. So not unlike what we're doing as humans, we're creatures of habit. Every day we wake up, you look at your newspaper or you grab your coffee or you have to go drop off the kids, you take the same route. All of this is based on the information that we have learned previously. So this is the same idea. This model that we have in our brain, as I call it, we feed the information, then it makes a decision based on historical events. What is the most likely?
Yeah, that's a great definition. I love that you bring up newspapers. I'm still one who reads a physical newspaper every day. So thank you for acknowledging that. Is AI a competitive differentiator for businesses? And it sounds like, based on your description, it is, but I want to ask you.
Absolutely. So the way I look at it, again, I'm going to kind of go back to the human analysis. If me as a human brain, I have a capacity, let's just say, to take a look at 10 different games tonight, just as a human mind, the AI model can look at 1,000 different games, 1,000,000 different games, and can make outcomes. So of course, the competitive advantage. It allows the companies to have more information readily available, coming in within seconds, versus having the humans that will take minutes, hours, or days to kind of come up with the same outcome.
Are there challenges with implementing AI? Because everyone says, I want this, I want this, I want this, but you got to be able to implement it. And I have to think that it's fraught with challenges.
Of course. So just like anything, and I would say that the technology space in general, it's the newest of them all. So with technology and now AI being one of the newest facets of that is the talent. So there is always a challenge when it comes to talent and it comes to learning. Of course, AI has been around for a few years now. We're here in Kitchener-Waterloo. Most people don't know it, but it is a mecca of AI developers. It's from Waterloo University, which is world-renowned in that specific space, same as MIT. It's the Canadian version. So for us, we're seeing a lot of talent coming out of there, but a lot of places in the world, they still don't have the talent to have a proper AI developer build this, because it's not just any developer that can do this. They have to understand the matrix and how to actually build out the decision-making. So that, I would say, was probably the biggest challenge.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to jump, cut you off. It wasn't my intention. So it sounds like the human element, which is kind of ironic, the human element of being able to analyze is a big competitive or a big challenge. Let's talk about some of the infrastructure that you need. I mean, it's not as easy as, I don't think it's as easy as downloading an app and putting it on your desktop, right? I mean, there's a lot of, you probably need servers. You need the human element, the technicians. But what about the infrastructure? What do I need if I'm a business, a small business, a large business, to incorporate AI into my web, my customer service, my other tools?
Yeah, so there's two ways about it. For us, ours is built from scratch. So obviously it starts with the servers, it starts with the infrastructure and the humans. That is essentially what you need to build a proper AI infrastructure. Now, from a business standpoint, if you're not looking to build out your own, but go ahead and essentially, Microsoft has a great tool that you can go to. You can actually purchase the tool and the infrastructure. So you need that to kind of have as a starting point. And then in addition to that is you need somebody that actually is a technician to feed the information. So without the information, again, with our decision-making matrix, it's based on our human experiences. It's the same idea. If you don't have the data, it cannot properly teach and train the AI to make decisions for you in the proper analysis to have the proper output. So whatever your industry is, you need to make sure that you have historical data and as much data as possible in order to actually bring this to life outside of just simply purchasing an AI infrastructure or having somebody build it.
Yeah. Well, Danielle, I need to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk about implementation, where AI has been implemented. You're going to want to stay tuned right here on BRN AM. Imagine a new television network that will make you richer, healthier, and in control of your financial future. This network is for the policewoman in Nashville, Tennessee, the baker in Dubuque, Iowa, the teacher in Lexington, Kentucky. We want to make the idea of savings and retirement culturally relevant. But what do you see as a defining issue of the midterms? Especially for the smaller businesses. I mean, they are the lifeblood of the American economy. Featuring exclusive interviews, current affairs, and docuseries. 33 years old, you retired early.
The philosophy is money only matters if it helps you live a life that you love.
But you got to start thinking about retirement as soon as you get in.
The Broadcast Retirement Network will drive very high engagement with premium partnerships. So this isn't retirement and savings for your parents or grandparents. This is for all Americans. And we're going to change the way you think about money. Welcome to the next frontier of retirement and savings. This is BRN, the Broadcast Retirement Network.
Are you over 50? Would you like to get up to 33% more income in retirement? Then call now for this free book, Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers. This free book reveals little-known secrets about annuity strategies that will help you make the right choices before buying an annuity. Call right now for your free book, and as a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report, both absolutely free for calling Annuity General today.
Call 800-504-8194.
Welcome back. We're talking this morning to Daniela Kovic of Quarter 4. Danielle, thanks so much for joining us or staying with us this morning.
Yeah, thank you. It's been fun so far. I like talking AI, so it's good.
Yeah, absolutely. And wait a minute, you're a real person, right? You're really Daniela Kovic. You're not a computer-generated image of yourself.
Oh God, you caught me. So no, you got me. I'm a robot. I'm coming over to take over the world. No, it's just me. I'm still a human.
Okay, I'm just joking with you. Let's talk about where AI has been most implemented. Or where has it been implemented? Has it been implemented in retail, manufacturing, cars? You tell me. Where's it been implemented?
Well, I would say the most obvious and the one that I believe kind of started, and I'm going to say Google here, obviously search engines. AI was a big portion of the decision-making matrix, and that was based on search engines. So based on what you punch in, what is the most likely outcome? It's based on your location, your previous, search items, and then coming up with the results that you most desire. But it hasn't stopped there. That was, I would say, the starting point. It has now been turned over to every industry, manufacturing, automating, cars, self-driving cars. There's a ton of information there in the AI. in speech applications or any text applications. So when we're talking newspapers, I'm going to bring it back to that, not perhaps the printed ones, but the ones online are utilizing AI a lot. You have a lot of big engines that are producing content that are not really using humans for the big articles. They're using snippets that is really written by AI. What is the most common text that one should be putting on there, and then having that output, and it's coming up and updating constantly. And then retail. I mean, AI has been the biggest friend for retail. Looking at, I'm sure you guys have seen it, you go on to even your social applications or your search engines, and it decides in December, I'm always Googling at Macy's. That's where I go generally shopping. So here's a deal at Macy's that's coming up, or your favorite drugstore that you need to go get whatever it is, shampoo, or you need to go get your grocery store, and here's the deal. So retailers are continuously using this decision matrix and having that pop up in front of the consumer.
And I think you referenced in segment one that as it relates to athletes in fantasy leagues, it's being used. So like if I'm a great basketball player, I'm not, I'm only 5'8" on a good day, 5'9" with heels. You can analyze athletes' data and provide predictive analysis. Not you, but the system can provide a predictive analysis for all those fantasy sports leagues out there.
Absolutely. That's a big component of what we're currently doing. And this industry is a little bit early on the AI side. I would say it's only a couple of years in, like the others. But that's exactly the information. We're looking at that specific athlete. We're looking at their patterns, their trends. Well, not me specifically. I wish I was intelligent as my AI infrastructure, but our AI infrastructure looks at the patterns, looks at the opposing players, and makes a decision. You know, against this player, this athlete only does 50% of his usual kind of scoring points or attempts, or does really well at 85% of the defensive attributes that would come to a game outcome. So it takes that information, and then it makes a decision how that athlete's going to do based on all of the historic information that they've dealt with previously for themselves, the location, again, the opposing athletes or the opposing team. And if there is an injury that's throwing that for a curveball, or in the case of what has happened over the last couple of years, COVID, it's taking that information and saying, okay, well, with COVID, there was no audiences in certain sports. So this makes a difference. There's no travel or certain locations. So this makes a difference of the outcomes.
Yeah, it's absolutely fascinating. And I know a lot of leagues here in the States, the NFL, Major League Baseball, hockey, all using analytics. Let's talk about some of the data that's available. If I'm a small business owner, say I'm a dentist, there's data that's available based on how I treat my patients, or historically how I've treated my patients.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, the biggest component is there is data that's available. If a patient comes in looking at their, for example, checkup, or we're talking about a dentist, the quality of their teeth, what is the likelihood, is their front tooth, their back tooth, or otherwise that he's usually having a cavity or an issue, the age, the expectation, the gender of your patient, what are their likelihood, their ethnic background, because obviously everybody has a different kind of teeth. I can't believe how much I know about dentistry here, but I think it's just because it's just general knowledge of the layers that have to be put in there. And then it makes a decision for a dentist saying, you know, this is the information for this patient coming in, have this ready, have this specific assistant be ready, because that's the next likelihood of their tooth having this issue or that issue, or none.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, or no issues, it's just a cleaning. But yeah.
Yeah, a cleaning is a good thing. Always get your x-rays every 6 months, get your cleaning. Just my dental friends would want us to mention that. Let's just talk about, is there the ability, even with the implementation of AI, to introduce bias? Because we all have, you and I each have biases based on our own history, what we've gone through in life, and so we have biases. Do these biases find their way into artificial intelligence as well? Do systems have the biases of their programmers?
Well, that's one of the beauties, which we always say, it drops the bias. In our case, in the industry, it's their trends. Their trends based on numerical information. So you can't really go against numbers and introduce bias. Me, as a sports fan, you know, I am a Canadian, I'm a Leaf fan, I'm here from Ontario. Very painful. I have a bias continuously watching them. Our infrastructure goes against the Leafs quite often. I'm going, why is this happening? But it's taking their numerical background, it's taking their trends. It's not taking me as a fan going, well, we can beat the Rangers, no problem. Well, that's not really a real outcome. So yeah, when it comes to the bias, it actually takes out the bias. It really focuses on the information provided and does not allow for human interpretation of that emotional response, which is a positive, even though there is a requirement for emotional responses from humans in every industry. And this is why I always say AI is an asset. It is definitely not an end all be all, and a solution is 100%. It's supposed to be an asset, not your 100% solution.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a great tool that businesses of all stripes can use. Daniela Kovic, pleasure talking with you. Thanks so much for educating us about artificial intelligence, and we look forward to having you back on the network again very soon.
Thanks so much, Jeff. It's been a pleasure.
That wraps up this episode of BRN AM. Have a topic of interest, someone you think we should talk to, drop us a line. And don't forget, for all the information in retirement markets, technology, personal finance, so much more, check out today's edition of our newsletter, The Morning Pulse. Want to take us on the road? Want to check out our latest content or search our archives? Visit our over 100 streaming partners. Until tomorrow, I'm Jeff Snyder. Stay safe, keep on saving, and don't forget, roll with the changes.
But if you're tired of the same old stuff,
Now is your opportunity to co-create content around any topic on the First Lifestyle and Wellness Network. Reach a global audience through our platform and co-own exclusive branded content. All of our programs are available on demand and also as audio-only podcasts, so you can take us on the go. Broadcast Retirement Network, available anytime, anywhere, and on any device.
Are you being audited and do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Is the IRS threatening to take more of your money? Don't fight the IRS alone. The Tax Doctor is here to help you negotiate your tax bill and reduce your stress. The IRS can freeze your assets and seize your bank accounts, but you can stop these IRS actions. The Tax Doctor will work with you using our years of experience to represent your case to help you get the best resolution under the IRS guidelines. Help is here to deal with the IRS to reduce your stress. We've handled thousands of cases, so we know what we're doing. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, do not call the IRS alone. Call a Tax Doctor now for a tax emergency analysis.
Call 800-224-6439.